We're live.
Hello.
I love it.
All
It just
right.
always sneaks up on us.
I know. Okay. Hi. Good evening. Happy Friday, Facebook family. Lainey and I are jumping on to just spend a short amount of time tonight to talk to you about our free 3-day program starting next week. Too cool for school. And what we thought we would do is basically just tell you a little bit about ourselves and the things that came up for us, any resistance that we had when we first made the decision to jump into a life of education freedom. And actually, whether we even knew that's what we were doing. I don't think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably did. Did you know that's what you were doing?
Well, so the jumping into it was pretty intentional because we made a commitment for a 1 year um, travel. Like we were going to travel for 1 year, and that was 12 years ago. And I've told this story before, but it's not really sort of the heart of what's really important here. But I said, look, I never questioned the school education system. I always wanted my child to be educated. I always believed that it was somebody else's job to educate him. But I knew that 1 year of travel, which is what we were planning on doing, would be way more valuable than fifth grade. And so after fourth grade, his fourth grade class, we left and we were going to travel. And my mother and her partner at the time were teachers, and they gave me all of these workbooks and different things to take so he wouldn't be behind. I chucked them. I'm like, why? Why? Travel is rich. I already knew that intuitively. And for those of you that know our story, know that we never went back. But what happened for me was, and for Miro, was that questioning. So we stepped into it intentionally, and a lot of people are stepping into it intentionally now because they're noticing that they're not resonating with what the options are for whatever reason, right? My reason wasn't we're in the midst of this crazy lockdowns in school looks very different. That those weren't my reasons 12 years ago, but the things that came up for me and the things that I'm going to share with you are relevant to now. And that was, what is education? That was, why is somebody else qualified to quote unquote educate us? And this content, like we were so bogged down. The story that I got from my mother's partner who taught fifth grade was, well, he's not going to learn about the missions in California, and the California State Board says he should learn these four things in this age group and in this grade. And that got me thinking, why does he need to learn those things? And who said that those things were important to anything? And it wasn't even the focus on the things. It, for me as an anarchist, it was, don't tell me what I need to focus on. I know better what I need to learn. My son knows better what he needs to learn. Together we're a powerful team because we're all in. It's 100%. We're all in. We're present. We want to learn. But don't tell me what those things need to be, what that content needs to be. And then when I started looking at that stuff and unscrewing the top off of that, it really got us thinking about what is education and what are the things that are important to learn. And in fact, forget education. Let's talk about learning. And once we shifted away from education as being this outside thing that has to be sort of fit onto
Mm.
our lives, the learning just became natural. And what became more important was learning how to learn. And actually, we didn't even have to learn how to learn, but learning how to research, learning how to advocate for ourselves, learning how to make decisions. And forget even learning how to do that. Let's take another step back. It was just doing it and practicing it and trial and error. And those became the focus of the things that we focused on for quote unquote education. Once we realized that the content, anytime Miro wants to learn about the California missions, all he has to do is Google it. It's there. It's not going to change his life. It's not going to affect his life. There was no coercive element in the educational approach that we took. And so nothing had to be focused on it. Instead, Miro opened up to a world of history and a world of mythology and a world of, like, he really became interested in origin stories and myth and comparative religion. Oh my God. And all this at 12, 13, 14, because the world was open to explore wherever the interests became. Like, it took a while to de-school, and we'll talk about that later. But that transition, not the why, but the how, became the most powerful part of our journey. And that's a lot of what I'm going to share with you and facilitate, walk you through with our 3-day free workshop that we're so excited to be holding and to be in service for anybody who wants to be a part of this journey and be inspired and actually gain some tools. Sarah will tell anybody, and anybody that's worked with me, I'm so into tools. Like, for me, I need to toolify everything. And by having that tangible tool set to make it make sense, gives me a framework to understand the ground that I'm walking on. And that's how I function. But I find that people that are like me, Sarah's not, but people that are like me are so grateful that they have this because it doesn't feel wobbly anymore. And so we're going to cover it from all bases, aren't we? Because Sarah, you're very intuitive and you really drill in and get to the heart of matters in such a way that it's almost impossible to tangibly um, quantify, but you just do it. And so the working with you, alongside of you, it's such a wonderful balance. So I'm excited about this workshop. It's going to be amazing. I know I just now went into a pitch, but there you go. I'll pass it
That's what
back
we're
to you.
here for. We want people to sign up. I'm not hiding that. We're pitching our workshop to you. Sign up. Yes, the point is though, yes, you love tools. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind tools. But the point is, we're all different, right? And so school offers a one size fits all approach. I mean, there's a like tokenistic attempt to reach all learning styles. Let's be honest, it is tokenistic. It doesn't capture all children because there isn't 4 learning styles. I mean, I don't know, there's like infinity learning styles. Literally every single person, every single child in school, out of school, every single adult is completely unique in the way they see the world, in the way they make sense of information, in the way they sort through data, the way we make it relevant to us. It is as unique as we are unique. And that is why school for so many children doesn't make sense, because it cannot hope to cater for individuals the way alternative education, life outside of school can. You know,
Exactly.
even in a family of 4 children or 6 children or 8 children, you've got a far better chance of personalizing learning because children can be led in their own way by their own intuition. That can't happen in a classroom environment with 30 children. It just can't. And it doesn't, even in the best version of school, it can't. And so, you know, the fact that you like doing things a certain way, I like doing it a different way, we speak to different people, like that's just a perfect kind of almost metaphor for
Exactly.
why learning outside of the school system works so well for any type of learner, any type of learner.
It's so true. It really, really is. And, uh, you know, what I found most empowering is finding my voice to question what the purpose of education actually is for. And for those of you that have, like, I'm sharing this on my personal Facebook page. I've known some people I've been friends with since I was in, grade school, right? They know I've always been an anarchist. They always know I've been rebellious. I've always questioned authority. But what makes it so incredible is that I never did that around education. And somehow becoming a parent somehow made me accept a story about education, and that was through my own indoctrination. That was through the cultural beliefs that were around me. And that was the one thing that I never challenged. And once I stepped into my power and really looked at what it is that was important to us and what education or learning meant to us, we were able to freely define that in such an empowering way. That's what I want everybody else to find. I want you to step into your power. I want you to know what's best for you, what's best for your children. And I want you to know what's best for your children by including your children and empowering them to answer those questions. It's not about you imposing a top-down view of it, but as a family, the family collaboration, the collaboration of making these decisions is such an important aspect, right?
So, oh yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about all sorts of styles of home education, right, during the 3 days. But inherent in everything that you and I talk about is this idea of partnering with our children and challenging that conventional top-down model of parenting, where the parent says what goes and the child does it. So, I mean, we're both unschoolers, and so we could never advocate for a kind of type of home educating where a parent is dictating what curriculum the child uses and making a child sit at the desk for 3 hours a day and doing certain activities. That's not what we are, and that's not what we advocate for. So we'll be talking really openly about the different styles of home ed, because I think it's really important for people to know how to connect with others in their community and what different families find work for them. But this is all about challenging our programming, all about challenging the thinking, all about challenging what other people say we should be doing and how other people say we should live.
Yep, and that is actually what's most important now. Hey, Sarah, did you make sure that this live is public?
No.
Because I am on my phone and it
Oh
is.
my God, it's not. Oh, the fuck is it? Facebook trying to. Nah, it's only set to friends. Should we delete it and start again?
No, just change the settings. Just change the settings.
Oh my God, this happens to me all the time. Zuckerberg doesn't want people to hear about putting their kids out of school. So anyone who was my friend or your friend would have been able to see it. It just means it wasn't public. So hi, Alana, Marianne and Richard are watching us. Yes, hi, Richard. I was just chatting with Richard a couple of hours ago, actually, about this exact same thing. So thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, I had my privacy settings set on friends only, even though my profile is public. Yeah. I like to imagine the government are trying to limit me at every second of the day. They're trying to control everything we do. My kids think I'm crazy.
Well, here we are.
It's really liberating accepting that you're crazy. It's fun. So on the 3 days are really about setting people up for a positive start to home educating, although there are plenty of people who've registered who are already confidently home educating and just want a bit of extra like cuddling and hand holding, and Lainie and I are both very good at that. So this is really about giving people confidence that they can do it, because I needed that when we were about to take the leap into homeschooling, as we call it in Australia. My fears weren't really anything to do about like reading or writing or whether my kids would learn to do stuff. I had absolute confidence that they would, because I observed them doing just that from birth. So I wasn't worried about those things. What I couldn't get my head around was what my life was actually going to look like, because so much of our identity, I think, as parents is wrapped up in what our children are doing. And it's as much a rite of passage for mums in particular when our children go to school as it is for our children. They start going to school and, you know, we take those like first day of school photos and we become school mums. And while your child is at school, you're a school mum. And I remember thinking, if I'm not a school mum, what am I going to be? I couldn't touch it, taste it, see it, feel it. And I couldn't imagine what my life would look like in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. And that created a lot of fear for me and some resistance. So what was really important for me was having other people around who were like cheering me on and saying, yes, you can do it. You're going to be a great homeschool mum. And I knew it actually in my heart. I knew that I had a heart for it, which is the most important thing, by the way. It's not being organized and having schedules. It's having a heart for it. That's the most important thing. Because no one can take that away from you or challenge it, right? But I needed a cheer squad, and thankfully I had one, and I'm really, really grateful to those people, and they know who they are. And they were just, you know, ahead of me on their journey. And so I could look to them. So that's really what Lainie and I, you know, want to do for people that sign up for this course, is we want to be your cheer squad. We want to say, yes, you can do it. And for those of you who need some more concrete reasons than just us saying, yes, you can do it, we're going to give you those as well. Because, yeah, lots of people need a little bit more meat around their reasons why. But very much one of the things that we'll tease out over the 3 days is helping people connect to their sort of why. Why would I do this? Because when you know why, like that's a massive motivator, isn't it? Yeah. We'll probably talk about motivation as well, because that always comes up when we talk about alternative.
It does.
Yeah, so I very quickly went from being a school mum to an unschool mum, and that sat very, very comfortably with me. But just before I sort of jumped off the cliff, it was that feeling of like, if I'm not packing lunch boxes in the morning, and I'm not looking for school uniforms, and I'm not baking muffins for like bake sales at school, or organizing stuff with the like committees, I don't know who I will be.
Yeah, and that's going to be our day 3 unpacking. We're going to be doing a lot of that on the 3rd day. It's going to be a short, quick, powerful 3-day journey, and I'm really excited. So I just started to recap because I've got to get running soon. The first day, we're going to talk about all the sort of logistics. And if you are actually just transitioning from traditional school for whatever reason out of traditional school, we'll unpack all the different modalities. You'll know right off what the modalities we chose, right? The style that we chose. But in all fairness, everybody's going to make a choice which is right for you, right? But to know, you'll also hear the reasons why we chose self-directed education or unschooling, and how that extends into everything else that we're talking about. So the first day is really about those logistics, and a lot of the questions, because I work with teens, right? A lot of the questions that I hear from parents of teens is, what if my kid wants to go to university? What do I do? And I'm going to address that as well, because it may be a choice that's relevant for you and your family, or it may not be, but we are going to talk about that, right? So you've got this information moving forward, and you've got a really well-rounded idea of what the universe of learning outside of school looks like. So you're going to have that after your first day. Your second day, we're digging into that why. That why is going to dominate who you are, what your family's values are, and how to be able to distill that into what your learning plan is, or your outside of school learning approach will be, whether it's contrived or loose. We took a loose approach. You can take whatever approach you want. We're here to support you in whatever whatever choice makes most sense for you. And I will tell you, sort of as a hint caveat, a lot of people that step from a very traditional formalized system go into a semi-formalized system and end up ditching it after a few months. But it's okay. It's all part of the journey, and there's no judgment in that. And then the third day, we're really going to be digging into our as a family, as parents, as adults, what is that indoctrination? What are those hidden agendas? What are the deschooling processes that what you can expect, and what that actually entails, and what it looks like for your children, and and a few tips and tools to help you self direct your sort of frenzy as you step into the unknown, and how to create a cohesive family culture around these new choices. Obviously, we'll be sharing more resources throughout the 3 day, but we just want to give you enough to get you started, so you're confident. If you want to go further and work with us, obviously there's going to be that option. But after these 3 days, you're going to have gained some really valuable information. We promise you that. We've designed it that way. And our heart is really with those families that are not sure where to turn now and not sure what to do, because the world around us looks so different. And we're a lot more people, the increase in home education, whether it's one modality, one style, or another, has increased tenfold. I would even say even more than that. The numbers, I've seen some numbers floating through Twitterverse, talking about the increase of home educated families. It's massive. So this 3 day free workshop is really designed to give you the tools that you need to head out, and feel confident and know that there's a community of people that have done this. Cool.
Yes, cool. I'm just checking. There's a couple of questions. When is this, please? Lainie, when is this?
You're so bad with dates.
Yeah, I know. That's 13th, 14th, 15th.
Yeah, so it starts on the 15th.
15th, 16th, 17th.
Exactly. So it starts
Okay.
Wednesday to Friday.
Stephanie, if we haven't sent you the link yet, I can't remember whether I've sent it to you or not, but I will.
I put the link in the comments on my page.
Okay, all right, we'll put the link in. But we're going to be doing it live and interaction in a Facebook group that's specifically for this. So if you can't make it on the day, because we've got friends all over the world, and Lainie and me are in 2 different time zones anyway. She's in Mexico and I'm in the UK. We've got people who've registered from the US. We've got people who are in Australia. And so we can cater for any time zone, because you can watch it on a replay if you can't make it live. But what we are going to try and do, there's a particular time in the evening where we can catch basically all the time zones. So that's what we're going to be aiming for, to give people the best chance, because it's always fun interacting live. But you'll be able to watch things on replay. And we've actually got some extra things that we're going to be doing over those 3 days as well. We're actually bringing some other people in.
We got some bonus.
I wasn't going to say who, but we've got some extra. Yeah, we've got some extra things that we're including in the 3 days.
Goodies and inspiration. Great goodies and inspiration. I'm super excited about it. So, all right, guys.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. We're going to put the link up. If you haven't registered yet and you want to, there's still time. Don't worry, and we will see all of you next week. And there's going to be hardly any kids left in school after this.
Yes. So. Get your kids out of school. You are.
Jamie wants to know how we get access to the event Facebook group. Yeah, so if you've registered, you would have got a link to the group, but we're not opening the group until the day of. So
So you have to go to the page to register. You will receive an email and you'll get another email before we open up the group. So you'll get another email reminding you with that link. So your email is, you have to check your email. So make sure when you register with an email that you are checking, right? The
Yeah.
email will come from me. Um, I'm not sure what email it'll come
And
from.
but I'll be online all day prior. So if if there's something wrong, something breaks down in the link, you haven't gone into the group, you'll just message me and we
And
will make sure that you're in the
I
group.
think we'll let people in the day before just to get rolling
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
day of
Cool.
just seems a
Yeah,
little,
we can have some chit chat in the group. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Cool.
So,
Excellent. Thank you.
all
Share
right.
with all your friends. We'd love to see as many people as possible there,
It's
because
free. Did
it's
we
really
mention?
important that you do this stuff in community. So,
Yeah.
you can talk to other people in the group and you're sure to find somebody else who's got exactly the same fears and challenges that you've got. Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, Lainie.
Jamie, I just want to respond. The confirmation email does have the link to the Facebook group in it. If not, I need to double check and see why it's not there. I know that it is programmed to give you that link. And if not, it's okay. If you've got the confirmation, you will receive yet another email on Monday with everything. So you'll
Yes.
have that. Yeah. I
Yes.
promise.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes,
Fantastic.
Nicole's just asked, is it okay if you come, even if we've been unschooling for a long time? Absolutely,
Come
100%. And there
support.
are some people that have registered that have been home educating and unschooling for ages, and they just wanted a bit of a cuddle, and that's cool.
And to
We
cuddle.
all need that sometimes.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. See you soon.
See you, Lainey. Bye.